If you clicked on this video, then you'll no doubt be aware that at the time of recording there are 97 episodes of Doctor Who missing from the BBC archives. These episodes, featuring the first two Doctors, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, are probably the most famous and sought after pieces of lost media in the whole world. But what if I told you that these episodes were just the tip of the iceberg, and that there is a whole host of Doctor Who and Doctor Who related footage stretching from the programme's inception right up until the present day, which is currently missing in action. You guys seem to really love my last video about other types of missing Doctor Who footage, so naturally I'm here to give you the ultimate sequel. In the last video I tried to focus on missing footage that was once broadcast to the public to make it more tantalising that some people had actually seen it at one point, but this time we're going even deeper to include all types of Doctor Who footage, which at one point was known to exist but now is most likely lost forever. My name's Ruby, aka Hoobie Jones, that's Petrol the Dalek, and you're watching even more missing Doctor Who footage no one talks about. First up, we have the original ending to the 1966 Patrick Troughton story, The Highlanders. This serial was the second story in Patrick Troughton's run, and saw the introduction of fan favourite companion Jamie McCrimmon, who would remain in the TARDIS all the way up until Pat Troughton's departure in late 1969. But the plan for Jamie McCrimmon originally was quite different to what we ended up with. The script originally called for Jamie to simply be a one-off character in The Highlanders, and although in his contract there was an option to extend it to have him appear in 3 more serials, the ending for The Highlanders was shot with Jamie simply waving goodbye to the TARDIS team. Then towards the end of production, producer Innes Lloyd saw the potential in Fraser Hines' character and his brilliant chemistry with Pat Troughton, so offered him the chance to join the TARDIS. He accepted, but this meant that they had one small loose end to tie up. Jamie's original ending had to be reshot, showing him entering the TARDIS and waving goodbye to his homeland, rather than him waving goodbye to the TARDIS and the Doctor. Seeing as this scene was shot on film and on location rather than the usual videotape, which was just recorded over, there is a chance, a minuscule chance, that this footage of the original ending could still exist and be out there. It's most likely that this scene was simply thrown away when it was being edited, but there is still a chance because tiny offcuts of film from the missing episodes that were never actually part of the final broadcasted versions do still exist and were kept and archived entirely by accident. This means that the original ending of The Highlanders could be lurking on a reel of film trims, perhaps kept by a BBC staff member or something similar. Most likely though, it will have been lost to time, like the actual 4 episodes of The Highlanders. Next up, we have some lost footage from the most violent and probably controversial story in all of classic Doctor Who, with Attack of the Cybermen. This was the debut story for season 22, Colin Baker's first full series in the title role, and it features one particularly nasty and controversial scene regarding the character of Lytton. In this scene during episode 2, the show really oversteps the boundaries of being a family show by having Lytton being brutally tortured by 2 Cybermen. The Cybermen appear to crush his hands so hard that blood squirts out as he lets a rather nasty and painful scream out before falling to the floor in agony. This scene rightfully caused instant outrage upon broadcast, with even fans at the time recognising it as pointless gratuitous violence that added nothing to the overall story aside from some cheap shock value. It turns out that originally, however, this scene was even more grotesque and violent than what ended up on screen. In an interview for the story's DVD release, director Matthew Robinson explained that in the original edit there was a lot more blood and even sound effects of cracking bones on top of the footage, with extra close-ups showing the agony of Lytton's face and his tortured screams throughout. This was then taken out of the edit as it seemed far too gory and violent when watching it back, leaving us with the version that we know today. Like Jamie's original goodbye, there is pretty much next to no chance of this footage existing. Whilst other deleted scenes from this season surfaced on the season 22 Blu-ray box set for fans to enjoy, this more graphic version of Lytton's Britain's torture scene was most likely recorded over so that the tape could be reused in accordance with BBC policy at the time. But there is a small and very minute chance that a copy could have been made and then copied onto videotape, and that somewhere out there exists a crusty VHS tape in someone's loft which has the glorious Lytton torture scene in full. Finally, to round off this video, we have a fascinating rabbit hole regarding the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie. In recent years, we've seen several TV shows that were shot on film from around this same era be beautifully remastered and rescanned from the original 35mm film elements. This means that they can be enjoyed in glorious full HD on our modern massive televisions and look gorgeous and cinematic. Now, classic Doctor Who, of course, is famous for looking cheap and fuzzy for a whole host of reasons, but this groundbreaking UK and US co-production on the TV movie meant that the programme finally had the big budget cinematic edge it always deserved. Now, seeing as the TV movie was shot on wonderful 35mm film in the near 30 years since its release, and with the wide array of Doctor Who related remasters and re-releases over the years, you'd expect that high on the want lists of several fans would be a glorious true HD remaster of Paul McGann's debut. But at the time of recording, we're still stuck with the original broadcast version of the TV movie. Even when the official Blu-ray was released in 2016 for the 20th anniversary, it just featured an upscale of the DVD version rather than a true full HD version of the movie from the original film elements. But why is this? Why have we never seen a true remaster of the TV movie, and why is it in this video about missing footage? The short answer is that although the TV movie was indeed shot on film, it was edited entirely on dull standard definition videotape, with the special effects also done on videotape. This means that to have a true remaster of the TV movie, the original 35mm raw film rushes would have to be located, scanned, and then the whole film would have to be re-edited along with new special effects painstakingly recreated to match the original frame by frame. Now, all of this is a lot of work, but it is theoretically possible if it weren't for one simple problem. Nobody knows where these film elements actually are. Now, everything I've said up to this point is verifiable from several sources, but the fate and location of these film elements is the source of so much fan speculation with actually very little hard evidence to back it up. There are long-standing rights issues with the TV movie, and the fate of these film elements lies somewhere within the jurisdiction of Universal Studios over in North America. The rumours about this footage include the following: that the film lies unlabelled in a vast section of Universal's archive and no one knows where it is, that the film was junked shortly after the TV movie was filmed, or that the film was destroyed in the famous 2008 Universal Studios fire, which destroyed between 40,000 and 50,000 precious, priceless items in their archives. Whatever the fate of these negatives, it's unlikely that we'll see any true remaster anytime soon, and for the sake of this video, we can happily add these film elements to our collection of missing Doctor Who footage. What was your favourite piece of missing footage in this video? And is there any more missing Doctor Who footage that I should cover in another sequel to this series? Let me know in the comments below. Also, this channel has a Patreon, and if you want to support me to make even longer, bigger and more spectacular videos, then click the link in the description below. Perks include getting your name in the credits for future videos and fun things like that. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Who Be Jones YouTube channel.